Hi everyone, I just saw Late Shift, a film about a nurse being driven absolutely round the bend on a overnight shift in a hospital in Switzerland. Does that sound promising? Well, it should, because this is a genuinely brilliant film. It is a film that I think might have a lasting impact on how I behave in the world, which is more than you can say for a lot of films, and a film that really, yeah, I think it could have changed me a bit to watch, at least for a while. Let's hope the effect lingers. Um, there are flaws with the film, and I'll talk about those as well, but this is the basic storyline. You've got a nurse doing a late shift. That's the storyline. There's a bunch of patients. Some of them are maybe quite ill, some of them are definitely very ill, some of them are terminally ill. And that is the range of normal experiences that you get on a ward like that. The film follows her. It's almost like Adolescence, one of those one shot films that we seem to feel we need to make when we are making films about contemporary life. You know, kind of like follow. It's a kind of cinema verite thing of like we will be we will be staying with the empirical facts of the story. We will not be moving away from the character. This film doesn't quite do that. There are edits, there are jumps, but basically it follows her around, and it's more or less real time for large parts of it. Of course, it's not totally because it doesn't go on all night, but there are jumps, but there's a feeling of being there with her all the way through, and this is what works about it. What you realise as she goes in to see these people is that for every single one of these people, this is not a late shift like it is for her. This is the shift. This is the shift. This is their life and death. They have given up power in order to be in this hospital. Anyone who's ever been to hospital or seen anyone in hospital knows that. You give up power when you're in that bed or on that ward. And the only power left for you to assert is the power of your own narrative. That this is your story, this is your illness. You are the protagonist of your particular piece of this ward or this particular hospital. And this is what she sees as she goes around. She visits all these different life stories, and in every single one, she's dehumanized. She doesn't get to be an equal participant because the other person is seeing themselves as central. They are the protagonist. It's their cancer. It's their terrible pain in their stomach. It's their frightening procedure that they don't want to have. It's their mother's dementia. Everything has to stop for them. And of course, that's how people are in that situation. But at the same time, the brutality of seeing her subjected one after the other to these people, it's like she's going around a sort of, okay, pretension alert. It's like she's going around an ontological beehive. It's like every single one of the cells in this hive is a different reality. And she enters it, and she enters that narrative, and she leaves. And she has to renew between every single room. She has to start all over as if she didn't just go through what she went through in the previous room. There's one really memorable scene where she leaves the hospital and stands outside and cries, the one chance she gets, because she can't afford to carry that emotion with her. And to me, that made the film work because that feeling that people's storylines are so important to them and the very last thing they have, like the woman who's got dementia to whom she has to sing a German lullaby, presumably because it's part of her personal journey and story and takes her back to her childhood. Or the woman who rings up when she's busy trying to arrange a medicine for someone who's dying. And this woman says, "My mother's left her glasses." And Floria, which is the name of the nurse, has to take a description of the glasses, find a pen. She's walking around a ward. She's trying to do her job. But the glasses matter because everything is the centre. Everything is the centre. And that's why the single camera movement around this ward works, because there is no centre, but everything is. So you just have to keep moving because it keeps shifting. And that's why I think this film could change you. I mean, who knows how long the effect that this film will have on me, but you know, I was in the supermarket coming back and I was buying myself a pint of milk, and the stupid checkout thing, you know, the thing that says unexpected item in bagging area, was playing up, and for a second I was really frustrated, and then I thought, no, you're just being one of those people. You think you're the centre. The world is millions and millions of people, and although it sounds like, oh my god, Man has realization the world does not revolve around him. Actually, that is a hard realization to remember, because one of the underlying meanings of this film is that we're all trapped inside these mortal bodies, inside these skulls, inside these stories. And that's why the central character is something almost inhuman in this film. She's treated as inhuman. One of the characters calls her an angel. She looks a little bit like an exhausted angel through the whole film. And you sort of think, yeah, we are being given, in a sense, an angel's eye view of the human experience. And it is so tragic and pathetic in the true sense, and fragile and brief. Not new lessons, but remarkably well conveyed by this film. Its structure, its performances. I would say at the end it falls back on plot beats. There's an object that goes missing that turns up again, and Noni and the Johnsons have a song that plays over the final credits, and you sort of think, no, what worked here was that there was no central narrative, that we left the characters to build that, and the film itself trusted its own quite experimental structure with no climaxes and no revelations, just one damn thing after another. That's the skill and talent at the centre of this film. So let's hope the director, Petra Volpa, returns to that style for her next film, because that's the strength of it. Thanks very much.